Yo, what's up? What's up? It's your boy Jcw, and I represent the Yellow Rocket Boys Network Wrestling Channel. What's up, Jcw fans, juggalos alike, wherever you want to be called. You know what I'm saying? So last week, I told everyone, if you go look at my recap number 1, that the first time I watched GCW was episode 69. Yes, that was my first JCW show. And I did a recap to that show. And ever since I did a recap to that show, off camera, I went back and looked at some episodes. I went from 69, 68, 67, 66. I'm now at episode 52 because I'm going back to look at the Lunacy world, at the JCW storylines and stuff. And I'm trying to get up to par. As you know, Russo is here, so he's doing his thing. And that's when I kind of heard about Lunacy. I've known about JCW. I've known about the shows that they've done, but I didn't know that they had a weekly show. And it wasn't until this whole Russo debacle, and I've been hearing about it, and I wanted to see for myself. And I went and I saw episode 69. Yes, get your minds out the gutter. 69. And I liked the show. I liked the show so much, I said, you know what? I'm going to do a weekly recap of this show. And so I've been going back and looking at old storylines. So we're going to get into episode 70, you know what I'm saying, of JCW Lunacy. And let's start it off, ladies and gentlemen. But first, I just want to say, any people who is new here, like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate it. We appreciate the love. We really do. Now back to the show. Russo comes out. You remember what happened in episode 69? Caleb Conley finally turned on G's, and I guess the ring rat too, and he was announced as Russo's guy. Like, we saw that he's Russo's handpicked guy. That's the guy. We saw the frustration and the outbreak. They had a tag team match last week. It ended out in the back. It was all over the place. We saw that. We also saw Ken Anderson win the championship from James Storm. So we saw that too. So a lot of stuff is going on within JCW. So let's get into the show. Russo comes out and he says we're going to see something that we've never seen on a TV show before, a wrestling TV show before. And he bring out these two refs and pretty much he berates them, and they're from Albuquerque, they're trash, they look like they stink and all that. And he just berates the local refs, which, okay, I guess to show how much of a douche he is, but he does berate the local refs. Then he says he wants to call out Ken Anderson. And pretty much tell Ken Anderson, everywhere you've been sort of an asshole. You haven't been a company guy. You've caused a lot of trouble. But here in JCW, I'm in charge, so you're going to listen to what I say. And Ken Anderson said, as long as I'm champion, that's not going to happen. So we leave it at that. And so it looks like Russo and Ken Anderson is going to have problems. I don't know if that means Ken Anderson is going to be a face, because he's a heel right now. I mean, he's telling fans to shut up. And Russo is clearly a heel. And then his guy, Caleb Conley, is clearly a heel. So, you have a heel champion telling the other heel authority that, hey, I'm not going to listen to whatever you say. So the Ken Anderson goes face by default because of this. Who knows? We got to keep watching. This is a Russo show, might I add. And I do like that little wrinkle, the champion, having a problem with the authority figure, especially now that the authority figure, Russo, has Caleb Conley as his guy. And that's what you see. Before we go to that, you see the commentators run down the show. You see Amazing Maria versus J-Rod, Ninja Matt versus Mosh Pit Mike, Caleb Conley versus Cocaine, and a number 1 contender match for the JCW title. Russo had to put that back out there because he does want Caleb Conley as his number 1 guy in the company. And then you see the Outbreak versus the Brothers of Construction and another rematch because last week ended in not so great fashion. So that's going to be in a cage match to keep everything contained. Well, wrestling logic. Go backstage. Vito yelling at the Brothers of Construction. As he always does. He yells at them every week, seems like. Mosh Pit Mike, versus Ninja Matt. and he come out as Mike Erlacher. You know, he has a 1,000 gimmicks, and that was one of his gimmicks. And apparently it's a hometown crowd for him. And he defeated Ninja Mac thanks to Facade. So this Facade and Ninja Mac thing is still going to be a thing, I guess. Remember, Facade beat Ninja Mac in the best out of 3. The third match, you know what I'm saying, Facade cheated, pretty much. And he got the American title away from Ninja Mac. So now Facade and Ninja Mac is on a collision course. You know, and Facade calls Ninja Mac the match against Mosh Pit Mike. So now we go to backstage. Vince Russo is telling Conley, he happy he did it. He knew he can do it. He finally did. He got rid of G's in the ring rat, and now he's starting to take things serious. And then Kerry Morton walks in and pretty much blames them for everything going on with him losing these matches, Matt Cross coming after him, and Kerry Morton knew all along. He knew all along it was those two. But Matt Cross calls Morton and tell him, hey, your beef is not with Russo. Your beef is with me. I'm outside. And so Kerry Morton goes outside, man. And they didn't show what happened outside for real. But Kerry Morton goes outside. And yeah. So, but like I said before, when I was reviewing it last week, I said, if you're going to put this company around two people, I said Caleb Conley and Kerry Morton are the two that you put this company around. And they need to be on a collision course. And you kind of getting a little bit here with this backstage segment with Russo, Conley, and Morton. You kind of getting it where Morton is like, I'm coming for you. Conley, oh, this is your number pick. This is your handpicked guy. I'm the one that runs the company. So Morton is your number one pick guy. You just wait. And so now you see these two on the collision course. And this is who the company needs to build their stars around. Too Tough Tony is cool. Willie Mack is cool. All of them is cool. But if I know Russo, he wants to build his company around fresh stars. And it's going to be Conley. And it's got to be Morton. And I would agree with him on that. It got to be those two. Anybody other than those two is irrelevant unless they bring in somebody else who's just as good as those two. But right now, for what I see in the company, those two is who you build JCW around. All right? That's who you build around. J-Rod defeats Amazing Maria, who is Hollywood Haley J's mom. Remember, J-Rod beat the crap out of both of them last week. And so Amazing Maria, who's the veteran here, a JCW Day 1, wanted to defend her daughter's honor against J-Rod, and J-Rod beat the brakes off of her. Like, beat her down, man. I mean, Maria got some offense in, but J-Rod just beat her down. And again, if you want to talk to me who you should build companies around, I got the men, but for the women, Big Al is cool, but Hollywood Haley J is cool, but I'm just saying J-Rod, Danny Moe, and Haley J. You should build the company around those three. J-Rod she got the look, she got the physique, she could be a monster in this industry. And if they're not careful, somebody can pick her up. If she keeps improving, I can see one of the big two, which is WWE, AEW, picking her up. She just trust me, she has to look. Like, the face and the skills a little bit, just need some working on that. And somebody pick her up. Alright? But she do go backstage after the match, and she's talking to Big Al, and she says she wants a match with the other blonde B-word, the other blonde bitch, Danny Moe. And, telling Big Al, I like what you're doing here. Who cares who get hurt in the process because now you getting hurt. And just kissing her ass pretty much and leaving. And yeah, she need a manager. Not much of a talker. Not much of a talker. She need a manager, bro. She need one soon. Like, she can get better. It is JCW. It's not like this is USA, TNT, TBS. Netflix. So I mean, you know, for right now, yeah, but I will put her with a manager. Just my 8 cents. All right, Caleb Conley versus Cocaine. Remember they had the #1 contender match, and then that's when G's got Conley disqualified, and then that's when Conley turned on G's, like beat him down pretty much. So Russo has 3 match, and it ends in a no contest because Kerry Morton gets involved. Again, these two on a collision course, and I like that those two are on a collision course. But as he hit him with the knee, Matt Cross comes in, because Matt Cross been coming in every time you see Kerry Morton in the ring, Matt Cross is either in the crowd or he's interfering in some kind of way. He comes in, beats up Kerry Morton, and then Conley gets up. They both start beating up Kerry Morton, and then Morton kind of rolls out the ring, and rolls out the ring to get away from those two. And then Matt Cross goes through the crowd, so it looks like Conley and Russo. It looks like on camera anyway. Looks like Conley don't know why Matt Cross is out there, and it looks like Kerry Morton is in the crosshairs of both of these guys. And like I said, good writing so far. We don't know Matt Cross' attention. We don't know why. Last time we saw Matt Cross for real is when he let Kerry Morton beat him, so Russo can get control of the company while Violent J is out the door. All right. So after that, we get Coach's Corner. Coach's Corner, he talks about the outbreak. He talks about how it's a stupid gimmick. By the way, I don't think it's a stupid gimmick. I think it's one of the dopest gimmicks in wrestling. If they can pull that off, and I don't think AEW can do that good. If they can pull it off in WWE, like in the NXT era, like in the NXT, standing or environment, I think they can get that gimmick over, because the way they walk in sync, the way they carry themselves, is just dope. So Coach talking about how they keep getting these title shots to keep losing, and he's talking about how Bartimus is running his mouth and they're not cashing in, and he's talking about how the gimmick is stupid. Sorry, Coach, we don't need you this week. The corner was stupid. The gimmick is cool, and I don't appreciate them going on air and then trashing the gimmick. I know it's supposed to be Coach's Corner, and he's supposed to be like a commentator commenting on the show, but just don't comment on that. Come on, man. That's bullshit. Frustration versus the Outbreak was a pretty okay cage match. They got that old school WWF cage that used to be in wrestling. The cage match was fine. I do love the Brothers from Construction. I love the gimmick. I love the tag team. And again, like I said, I like the Outbreak too. The match was okay. And then you see this new team, Chopper City. So the way that Frustration won the match, because they have it like, either climb the cage or you have to walk out, And pretty much the match is going okay. Not bad, but not good either. You see Frustration get pulled out the cage. One of them get pulled out the cage and the other one get pulled out the cage, and the bell rings because both of them get pulled out the cage. And because both of them got pulled out the cage, they ineffectively win the match. And Chopper City, they kind of beat up on them a little bit, then they get inside the cage and they start beating up the Outbreak. And these two guys in the ring, and they're beating up the Outbreak. And then they're in there celebrating, hollering. And then the Outbreak gets up, and then they try to get out the cage, and then the Frustration keeps them in the cage. And then the Frustration gets in the cage, and these guys start to run out. So they, the Chopper City goes over the cage, jumps out, run over to the announcer table, announce themselves. Hey, we Chopper City, we here, chop, chop. So this is a new tag team in JCW. All right. Now, one of the segments I like in JCW, on these JCW shows, called Blast from the Past. Again, I knew about JCW. I knew they used to throw shows. I know they used to throw one-offs because, like I said, I'm a wrestling fan for over 20 years. So you will see this stuff in magazines, on sites, or whoever talk about it. But on Blast from the Past, they show past events, past matches from their past. And I kind of like this part of the show. And by the way, I like their commercials too, when their commercials are one of a kind too. So it's not like their traditional commercials. It's their made, homemade commercials. Or you see the NWA throw an ad on there. You'll see GCW throw an ad on there. You see other indie promotions throw ads on there. And I think that's dope. That's really dope, and that's really smart by JCW, knowing that they have eyes on the product. But this blast from the past was JWO, which is Nash, Hall, and Pac. JWO versus the Outlaws, which was Billy Gunn and Jesse James. And it was in 2011 at a JCW Legends and Icons event. And Vampiro was a special guest referee. And yeah, so go check out that match. You know, I'm not going to say who won or lost that match. Just go check out the match. And, yeah, giving y'all some promo there. Mickey Knuckles and PCO defeated the St. Clair Monster Corporation. And I got to say this. With the St. Clair Monster Corporation, like, yes, you got these big guys, these big goofy looking guys in your Monster Corporation, but I think you need to go get, like, better monsters. And I'm not putting out Congo Kong or Mr. Happy. I'm pretty sure they're nice guys, but I just think, like, your monsters are not menacing enough to me. Like, they're weird looking, but they're not menacing enough. And the way they let PCO and Mickey Knuckle handle these guys, are they really monsters anymore? And then with PCO, like I told you last week, I don't like PCO. I don't like the character. I don't get it. He's old. He moves slow. He's just a drag. This match was a drag. This out of all the matches tonight, this match was my least favorite. Like I said, PCO moves too slow for me. He's just big and old and slow. The Monsters Corporation are big and slow. And, just having Vito out there, it was cool. But Mickey Knuckles and PCO defeats them, which, like I said, if you're a Monster Corporation, are you really a Monster Corporation? If you let Mickey Knuckles and old PCO beat you, regardless of how Vito did it, doesn't matter to me. And then so you see Jasmine St. Clair and the Monsters leave. Vito, PCO, and Mickey Knuckles are celebrating in the ring. And then you see Mickey Knuckles kiss Vito. And then they leave. PCO and Mickey Knuckles leave. Vito's in the ring kind of stunned because he just got kissed, kind of wiping his mouth off. And then you hear the music. ICP's Chicken Hunting rap song come on, which I like that song. It plays as Vito in the ring and the crowd start rapping to it or, rapping along to it. And then that's the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. And that's episode 70 of JCW. So, my star rating, what do I give the show? I give the show a 3.5 star rating. Not bad, not that good either. It was okay. After the last couple shows have been bangers to me, this one was kind of like a let's smooth it out. Let's calm down, because all the past maybe 4 shows have been action packed with story and development. This one was kind of like, okay, let's smooth it over. Let's just get some of these feuds going. Let's get some of this stuff over to the next week. And I do want to see next week. So this was a 3.5 for me. So I appreciate you watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Love the interaction. And I would like some of you juggalos to let me know what you like about the show. Is it something that I missed? Is it something I need to be looking for? Is it talent that I'm not talking about that I need to be talking about? All right, let me know. All right, I want to get on this wave. I like the show so far. I like the product. I can't believe I'm saying that. I like what Russo's writing so far. So let me know what I'm doing right. Or, let me know if I get some of these things right or wrong. All right? As always, I'm still cool. I'm out. Much love. Peace.